Today we're going to look at Bitcoin, Ether, and Solana. We're going to look at Bitcoin, the trend lines, but we'll also dive into the chart and see what is going on right now. A reminder that there are no financial investment advice in this video. For all you know, it could just be an AI hallucinating this. Well, welcome to the channel. My name is Patrick, and first thing, I'm not really joking when I'm saying this. The way Bitcoin behave, if you can't trade Bitcoin, you probably should not trade anything, because Bitcoin is very well behaved. From the bottom on last bull run to the top, it has been following something called Euler's natural exponential. It's a quite common equation that many natural things follow, both in engineering, natural science, and financial science. You find the number e as an exponential function very commonly used. Then in the correction of the bear market, we have ln, which is the inverse of Euler's exponential. And this have been keep repeating from bottom, top to bottom, bull run to bull run, cycle after cycle. I've never seen anything like it, and I've seen quite a lot in my years when I worked with the financial industry. So from a holistic perspective, this correction is just looking as we predicted already a half year ago, since it still is following the natural inverse of Euler's function. And we have not done any statistical deviation from that function. Now let's zoom in somewhat on Bitcoin and see what is going on. Well, Bitcoin has been falling all the way down here without any bounces really, which is not a surprise because we went up without any real pullbacks. We had a little bit here. Consequently, often the up and down mirror each other. We had a little bit here and a little bit here. We had some kind of bump here, some kind of bump here. They are a little bit mirroring each other, but overall a quite high fall, just as we just went straight up. We have bounced on the support. We have extended the support. When we started this, we had our support and resistance tighter. We did say this is too tight for Bitcoin, so probably the support and resistance will expand, and now that has been done. The $1 billion question everyone wants to know is the bottom in. To more confidently say anything about that, I would have wanted Bitcoin to go slightly lower than it just did. Because it did take out the loss here, but it is so marginal we can't really say. Can we call this a double bottom? Well, it could be, but there's a big question mark. Because ideally, a double bottom is stronger if the second one goes a little bit more below the first one. And the reason for that is that then we hit liquidation level here, and then we want to see what happens. Despite that we have liquidation and panic selling, will the bulls buy more so we go up? Basically what we do, if we compare here, when this thing broke last time, we fell this much down. If we will do that again, we will come quite low down to 40k or something. We won't want this fall to stop much earlier in the 50s something. If it will do that, that is a good suggestion, an indication that in fact the bottom is in, if that is all that happens, and then reverse upside. Now we didn't get that test, so we do not know. So this is like a minefield that no one has been walking over, or a field where we don't know are the mines here or not. And we haven't, sent any robots over, so we don't really know. Therefore, what Bitcoin needs to do, if this is a bullish setup, if this would be the bottom is in here, what we need to see exactly what we have seen so far, namely that we go up and get a pullback. Because without the pullbacks, if we just go straight up, a very small pullbacks like that, we will not check out weekends. We need to have this pullback, check out weekend, go up higher, check out weekends, probably 2 times before we attempt this resistance again. Anything less will probably be a failure, just as it was here. And this kind of structure have repeated on Bitcoin many times before. I would have wanted, though, this one to go a little bit higher before the pullback, but you do not always get what you want. And definitely want to bounce on this line, not lower, and do a new double bottom here, because that probably means we go up a little bit and down again. So you basically want the bounce to happen where we are now, if this is going to be a bullish scenario. Short term, I should say. Long term, if you go down, I think that will also be bullish, even more bullish, because the distance from the low to the high will increase the more we go down. Likely, at least. We don't have a crystal ball, but considering how this asset have behaved historically. Now, this one interesting thing here, because I said we did not get what I wanted from Bitcoin. We were up here. I was talking about this, that we probably should go down. It's a little bit too early trying to have the bottom in particular since we didn't have any pullbacks in this way up. And if you're familiar with Elliott wave theory, it's basically what I'm talking about. But the reason behind the pullbacks is we need to check out weekends on the way up so we do not accumulate all the weekends, because then they will all sell at the same time when they get scared. We want to scare them out a bit here and here and not have them with us when we try to break a heavy resistance. I sometimes compare this with people running around with their finger on the trigger. You don't want them on the mission. You want them to shoot themselves in the foot before they even come to the mission. You don't want those trigger happy, nervous people in the team, so to say. So let's shake them out. If we go to the daily chart of Ether, you can see that here we did get what I was talking about. I wanted to see Bitcoin do. We did fall down and have even got rejected and formed a channel below the previous channel. And we did fall less than we did the first time here. If you look at this distance here when we fell, compared to this one around, this is a much shorter fall. So this is how a bottom will look. With that said, I don't think Ether is in chart. So Ether will still have to wait to see what Bitcoin is doing. Because if Bitcoin is doing that, the risk is of course that Ether will do another leg down. Sometimes we have grouped Ether, Solana and Bitcoin and potentially some other cryptos and done technical on them together and then assessed what is the average outcome if you look at all the charts together. To do that, or when we did that, on the principal component analysis, the PCA plot, they were all at the same place, highly correlated. Their pattern and underlying structure were similar, and in particular were similar compared to the other cryptos. I haven't done that analysis today, so I will do that later and come back to it. But right now, I will still analyze them individually and assume that Bitcoin is in the lead. If you look at Solana, exactly the same thing. Very perfect break, hitting liquidation and bouncing despite liquidation. But once again, it more likely follow Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin bounce, Solana, Ether also bounced. So I don't think that this is the confirmation we need, so to say, but we need Bitcoin to confirm and the other will follow. Still, it's not bad that this happened for these assets. At least those have tried the liquidation, and with the help of Bitcoin, they could also bounce because they could have kept just falling. And that would have been a little bit more bad for all of them, actually, because that means that more likely the same thing could happen for Bitcoin. That was a short update from my side. Thank you for watching. Please share, like, all those things, and hope to see you all soon again.